The following program is brought to you by Johnny's Radiator Shop. For auto repair and air conditioning parts to fit everything under the sun, visit johnnysradiatorshop.com.
Welcome, Coach Embry. Glad to have you with us again today. We're now in the week of the Saline River Shootout, getting ready for the Monticello game. This is a big game in southeast Arkansas every year because of the trophy that's on the line, as well as being a conference game. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's go back and talk about DeWitt just for a few minutes. Big win for your team, 47-20. You got off to a fast start on the first offensive play, then they kind of came back. They were a good team.
Oh yeah, they were really well coached. They executed really well, and they were big up front. And obviously we did get to a good start offensively, scoring on the first play of the game, and then defensively, we gave up some yardage through the air, and something that we got to continue to work on. And they surprised us with an onside kick that we don't handle very well, and they ended up going up 14-6.
Well, but again, your offense kept clicking, and you probably threw the ball. I hadn't looked at the numbers exactly, but probably threw the ball a lot more than you've thrown about any game.
Well, we executed better than we have in any game. So, we threw for over 400 yards, which is a first this year, and we had over 650 yards total offense. And, like I said, you can see in practice that we're getting better. Maddox is getting better. AJ's getting better. Neandre's getting better. And then, we just got to be able to take it to the game, and we were able to do that the other night, especially early in the game. And we still rushed for over 200 yards, but and I thought Cody ran the ball well. That's his first really look at running back as a sophomore. So, when you're counting on a lot of sophomores at skill positions like at wide receiver and at running back, you expect them to get better as the year goes on, and that's what's happening, especially with our wide receiver group.
Well, defensively, it seemed like they moved the ball a good bit on us, throwing the football. But still, your defense didn't give up a lot when it counted.
Well, we gave up 14 points, obviously, to their starters. And, we do. We got to keep working on playing pass defense. That's something that we really, focused on this week. We've been focused on it, but we, put a little bit more priority on it. The thing that's disappointing is the third and fourth downs that they converted, especially early when we had them backed up, 3rd and 10, 4th and 8, and they were able to convert them. And, that's one play away from getting off the field, and that's what we got to be able to do is get off the field. But, we didn't have Cam last week, who starts at safety for us. He was out sick, so that's another sophomore that was getting better. He had a pick six against CrossFit, and he played well against Dumas, and it was just a deal where he got sick last week and wasn't able to play. But hopefully we get him back, and he keep getting better, and we get Trey back, and we get Tayshawn back, and so we got a lot of guys out that could help us in the secondary that especially depth wise that played a lot of snaps here that's not playing right now.
Linemen on both sides of the ball, defensive and offensive, they look solid most of the night to me.
Yeah, we're getting better up front. We're playing. We got 3 seniors who've played a lot of football on the offensive line with Dawson Harden and Marcus Green and Weston Gavin, and you throw Delfino in there at tight end. Them 4's played a lot of football, and then you got Bryson, who has a chance to be really good, and Terrence Robertson, probably the most improved player I've ever coached. And then on the defensive line, you got Wolf, and you got Landon Wolf, and Neo Harding, and Weston Gavin, Tyrone Grays, Bryson. You got a bunch of guys that's rotating that defensive line, and our front 7 on defense is pretty good. We just got to get better in the secondary, and that's going to come with getting guys back, number one, and just keep working, and hopefully be able to. And I think Monticello come out and throw it. That's what CrossFit did, and that's what DeWitt did. So I expect Monticello to do some of the same stuff Friday night.
Okay, speaking of Landon Wolf, of course he's been a really good defensive player, but he's really giving you some help running the football as well.
He is, he's a big physical back that runs downhill, and he does a really good job, and he does a really good job of blocking for Maddox and some of our packages that we have Maddox run the football. But he just got to keep improving. He busted one the other night and fumbled, and we got to learn from that. Ball security's got to be huge. The further you go, that's going to be more important. And I just think that he's getting better back. He feels more comfortable back there. I know that, and we just add a little bit to him every week.
Well, a big win. You had talked about it before the game that this was a big conference game. DeWitt was to put your team in a strong position for the rest of the regular season. Now we go to Monticello. Big rival, of course, but what do they try to do?
That they're gonna. I think they're gonna try to throw it. Honestly, just from watching us play the last couple of weeks, and I want them to. I kind of want them to too, just because of the fact that to see where we're at. We've put a lot of emphasis on it this week, and hopefully that we got better. And we got to get. I thought we did an okay job of putting pressure on the quarterback, but we got to get better at doing that. And when you're playing a pass, it's a lot of factors that come into play, and our kids understand that. There's nobody that wants to do better than our kids, and they've come out there this week and worked extremely hard. But offensively, they line up and run the power. They're big up front. They got a 2-year starter at quarterback, and they got some good athletes at receiver, and it's going to be a test for us, And it's like I said 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's not about who we're playing; it's about us, and we got to keep getting better. And yes, last week was a huge win for us. We knew going in that the DeWitt, this late in the season, week 7, they only had one conference loss, and they had a lot to play for, and I knew they were really well coached, and scheme wise, I thought he done a great job of trying to slow us down with screens. He ran so many different type of screens that tried to slow us down from rushing, and that had a little bit to do with the passing yards too, because of the success they had running the screens, and they run them off every running play they had, which was we wasn't ready for.
What did the Monticello try to do defensively?
Defensively, they're a forefront team that that tries to play a lot like we do. They want to read and react, and coverage wise, man, I couldn't tell you what they're going to do. Honestly, we can tell you what they do on film, but we never see the same thing when we play them. I know this: AJ and DeAndre are getting better. People are not going to be able to go out there and just say, "Hey, we're going to play man," and like they could early in the year, and and then Mad Dog's throwing the ball better, and so people are going to have to adjust to what they're doing, and I think we're gaining confidence, and that's the big thing, and that we didn't have any the first 3 or 4 weeks, and you could tell that by watching us play, and I think we're gaining some, and like I told our kids Sunday night, the sky's the limit for us, because we're sitting here in week 8 and we're getting better, but then we could get so much better, and I can see it every day in practice. We're getting better.
Well, that's as we always do, remind everybody, all of our fans out there. Of course, big crowd at the DeWitt game. It was homecoming,
right?
And we even had a lot of visiting alumni and so forth. But it was a great atmosphere.
It was really
for
fun.
The game, and I'm sure the same thing will be true at Monticello, because I know Warren folks will be there, and they need to be there. The game is Friday night. This coming Friday night at Monticello. Make sure everybody knows that. It's at Monticello. And, of course, we want a big crowd to go across the river and bring that trophy back.
Yes, sir. Thank you.